Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to cast the subscribe button, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, one day unknowingly to our male protagonist, Mochizuki Touya, he ends up sharing a table with God himself. Apologizing, God informs him of his untimely death due to God accidentally dropping some lightning onto his world which just so happens to hit him. Upset that he died at the age of 15, he is interrupted as God informs him about his reincarnation in another world. As a gift, God allows Touya to bring along his smartphone, but he can only use the phone as a source of information and not a way to communicate with anyone in his previous world. As a little bonus, God gave Touya his contacts as well. With that, Touya wakes up in the new world using his phone's compass app. He slowly makes his way to a nearby city. Along his trail, as he ponders how to make money in this new world, he is stopped by a wandering merchant. Completely baffled at Touya's unusual clothing, the merchant offers to purchase his clothing whilst offering to make him new clothes. Once the transaction, in the nearby city, had been made, our protagonist asks the merchant if there is a place for him to stay, replying the merchant recommends the Silver Moon Hotel. Thanking the merchant, our protagonists head in its direction. Getting closer to the hotel, he overhears an argument occurring in one of the nearby alleys. It seems two ladies are attempting to sell a rare for a gold coin, but due to its condition the buyers are unhappy, surmising that they will only pay for it using a silver coin. Noticing that things may get dirty, Touya interrupts the conversation, offering to buy the item for its original price of a gold coin. As the girls accept his offer, he shatters his item only for the previous customers to become enraged at the now item. Lunging at Touya with a blade, Touya, having been granted enhanced physical capabilities, is able to see the action. Thankfully for Touya, the sellers introduce themselves as Els Siloeska and Lins Siloeska, twin sisters. Additionally, Touya finds out that the twin sisters are currently staying at his desired hotel. Making their way to the Silver Moon Hotel, Els is teased by the current receptionist for acquiring Touya as a possible boyfriend, whilst attempting to help Touya out. Touya, having heard that he can make a living slaying monsters, he joins the guild, acquiring a katana to help the Els and Lins with their mission. During the mission, Touya is shocked to see Lins use magic. After the completion of the mission, they are rewarded with 18 copper coins, having slayed the beast. Sitting down, Touya, interested in the language and magic of the world, he asks if Lins can teach him such skills. Flustered, she attempts to measure Touya's magical capabilities with elemental gems. With Els only being able to use fortification magic and Lins being able to use 3 elements, they are clearly shocked when they see Touya can use all 6 elements. Noting an additional 7th gem, Touya is informed of null magic. Lins added that Els fortification magic is part of the null magic family and that null magic is unique to everyone as it's considered personal magic. Realizing this, Touya picks up the null gem, picturing the ability to teleport across space. In that moment, he is able to open a gate, bringing him and friends to a previous location, where they hunted for monsters. He soon realizes that he can only conjure gates to previously visited locations. As they wrap up their session, heading back to their lodge, they are interrupted as the hotel's owner asks Touya for any ideas for their current cafe. Hesitant, he eventually offers the idea of ice cream, reasoning there may be no such product that exists in this world. Using his smartphone, he is able to recreate a recipe he found. The day after, the three head out on a mission to the royal capital, delivering a message from their guild. They stumble upon a traditionally dressed girl wielding a katana as she is being surrounded by what looks to be bandits. Stepping in, Touya, Lins and Els are able to save and escape into a nearby ally. Introducing herself as Kokono Ye, they soon realize all 4 of them are heading towards the royal capital together, deciding to head there together, not before filling their stomachs, of course. On the way there, Lins gives Touya a book filled with possible null magic to hopefully inspire Touya. Noting that most spells are useless, Touya stumbles upon one that can retrieve any desired small object. Chanting apports, he is able to steal Ye's current hair tie. Adding to this, he mentions he could also use this ability to obtain money or underwear. Frightened at Touya's evil thoughts, Lins and Els are shocked at Touya's perverted thoughts, only to be interrupted with Ye asking for her hair tie back. Upon testing a spell that enhances Touya's senses, he notifies the group of blood in the air. Heading to the location, the group are able to slay said lizard man along with their summoner, which happened to be threatening the lives of a carriage. Rushing inside the carriage as the group hears a young lady cry, Touya is shocked to see a butler shot by an arrow, having attempted to protect the young lady. Without a moment to waste, Touya is able to retrieve the broken part of the arrow lodged in the butler. Additionally, remembering the spell to heal wounds, Touya chants recovery healing said wood in seconds. Grateful for the group's help, the young lady, Sushi Ernia Ortland, reveals her to be the daughter of a duke, the highest rank a noble can be. Dropping formalities, the young lady asks to be grateful for her daughter's safety. Sue's father, Alfred Ortland, invites the Touya and friends to share tea with him. As they make conversation, Touya soon is shocked to hear Alfred's wife has lost her vision, unable to find a cure for such illness. Offering to help, Touya is able to use his recovery magic to restore Ellen, Alfred's wife's, sight. Forever grateful for such a feat, Alfred awards Touya with 40 platinum coins, the equivalent of 400 gold coins. Completely shocked, Touya refuses such an offer, only for the Duke to offer a replacement of family medals, granting them access to checkpoints anytime and anywhere. Heading out of Alfred's home, they reason it would be great if Ye joined their team, continuing to adventure with them. Heading home, they stumble upon a lost girl, only to help search for her older sister. Acquiring a new coat that protects from possible spells, Touya and friends head back to their lodging. The day after, Touya is able to help bring a board game and sweets, both he brought from his old world, into the inn he had been staying at, but also to Alfred's family as well. Jealous of Touya and her father leaving Sue out, she tickles him as punishment for not letting her in on the fun. The day after, Touya offers to go on a slime mission, only to be met with stern no's from the girls, having heard terrible rumors of what may occur. As an alternative, Touya and group set off on a different mission, slaying monsters on an abandoned rune site. Using this opportunity, Touya is able to use one of his light lances, multiplying the single light lances as they pierce his enemies. Once they've slayed all enemies, Touya takes the opportunity to use the spell search to uncover any hidden treasures. Unable to find anything, the group eventually uncovers an underground tunnel. As they make their way through with Lin's light magic and Touya using his, eventually they stumble upon a stone-like bug sleeping, only to have it awaken and break to the surface. Forced to fight Els and Ye, notice none of their attacks work on its hard outer shell as it's dashing around. Using a slip spell to falter its movement, Lin's is able to restrain said creature with a huge ice block. Following up, they are able to cut off the creature's legs. Turning their backs, the creature springs back up, having regenerated all wounds. Noticing a red core, Touya uses a skill to take the core out of the creature's body. Shattering the core, the battle is brought to a close as the bug-like creature disintegrates. Informing Alfred of the ruins, the conversation is sidetracked upon finding out Alfred's brother had been poisoned. Alfred, storming to his brother's side, gives an opportunity for Touya to be able to remove said poison from the current king, curing him. Searching for the culprit, Touya returns to the scene of the crime, using a search spell to determine remaining traces of poison. Luring out the culprit, he forces a confession by tricking them, feeding them what was supposed to be poisoned wine, only for them to be captured upon fleeing. Having not only saved her father's life and caught said culprit, the princess of the king, Yumina, falls for Touya, offering herself to be engaged to Touya. Touya, completely in shock, finds out that royals can be engaged at 15. Using an excuse, he is able to avoid hurting the princess's feelings, delaying said marriage until they both grow older. In the meantime, God congratulates Touya on getting engaged over the phone, only for Yumina to join Touya's party. In a nearby forest, Yumina shows her worth, summoning wolves to assist with their mission as they are able to easily slay a beast. Complimenting everyone, Yumina gets flustered. Later on, Touya attempts to make up, underestimating Touya's magical energy output. Touya ends up taming the beast, forcing it into a more friendly form and naming him Kohaku. As a side quest, Touya is able to convince the party to investigate a researcher lost in infamy. Stumbling upon his run-down lab, they make their way to the library, where they discover notes on the creation of unique slimes. Searching for the researcher, the girls of the party are attacked by slimes, causing them to be saved by Touya. Finally, stumbling upon the remains of the researcher, they are cornered by slimes that mimic the form of the female members of Touya's party. Funnily enough, the slimes are not hostile, leading to the party burning down the laboratory filled with slimes. A few days later, Touya spends time with Kei in the morning as they chat. Ye talks about how Touya reminds her of her brother. Spending time in his room, he discovers he can exchange his phone with spells, allowing him to see through walls. Cutting to Lin's, we see Touya teaching her a more advanced water spell. As she runs low on mana, he is able to replenish her by transferring some of his. To end the day, Touya and Els end up shopping with Touya, buying a dress as he believed she would look cute in it. Having completed various quests, Touya is able to eventually afford a mansion where he invites his partners to stay with. As he is introduced to the housekeepers of the mansion, he is given a mission. Heading out, they are accompanied by various knights willing to guide Touya to his destination. As they set up for camp, Touya uses a phone to uncover possible bandits waiting to attack. Using his phone to track down each and every one of them, he is able to paralyze and capture them all. Through the use of a gate, he is able to comfortably return to his mansion whenever, whilst remaining on track to his desired destination. After arriving at his destination, he is shocked to see using various combinational attacks, the group is able to slay the Black Dragon. Having heard of a comrade perishing, a Crimson Dragon arrives on the scene, prompting Kahaku, the White Monarch, to greet the Azure Monarch. Apologizing to Touya and his group for the berserk Black Dragon, the Crimson Dragon flies off. As a reward for his hard work, Yumina rewards our protagonist with a lap pillow, which in turn causes the other girls of his party to be jealous. Having made it to the current location, the king greets Touya. Having heard of his acts, he decides to challenge him, testing to see if he is as powerful as he seems. At first, the king is able to best Touya with his speed, but learning from his mistakes, Touya is not only able to match but surpass the king's speed, copying and developing his own technique. Later that night, in celebration, the girls dress up. Touya is caught off guard when he is led to a dark room where a lady attempts to make Touya her apprentice as she teaches him a new null magic spell. The morning after having been inspired, Touya, Linz and the princess use acquired material to craft a gun. Equipping a blade to have the gun yield dual features, the Touya wraps up, heading home as the sun sets. Noticing along the way, stalker Touya easily dispatches them with his new gun, only to realize they are simply watching over the princess in their party. The next morning, wanting to take a bath, Touya accidentally stumbles upon the girls undressing, only to receive a lecture for this perverted accident. Leaving for some fresh air, he stumbles upon a young lady being bullied. Saving her, he learns about her past, only to give her a job as a worker for his mansion. Meeting up for lunch, he and the party end up spying on fellow knights as they end up professing their love for one another. Returning home, Touya once again reunites with It's revealed that she is a fairy with huge magical knowledge and capabilities due to her lifespan. Requesting his help, she asks Touya to use the gate to help her investigate a ruin near Ye's hometown. As he is only able to use the gate on vivid locations he's visited, he's encouraged to connect with Ye in order to obtain her memories. Having returned to her hometown, Ye is shocked to hear her brother having issues amidst a war. As a high-ranking soldier, Ye's brother is able to grant Touya permission to assist them in war. Healing all allied soldiers and casting light lance on all enemy targets, they soon realize the enemy's armies are composed of undeads. With the assistance of a female ninja, Touya, in the presence of his jealous party members, are able to locate the source of said power. Through the use of invisibility and little messing around, they are able to confront the enemy leader, ultimately destroying the source of such cursed power. As a break from adventuring, Touya invites everyone to a beach where they spend time in the sand whilst cooling off in the ocean. After a while, Touya is encouraged by Lean, the fairy, to make an additional pact with the Black Emperor. Having underestimated our protagonist's potential, the stubborn Black Emperor concedes into making a pact, ultimately being named Kokuyu. Through the use of Kokuyu, he is able to dive deep into the ocean, discovering a room transporting him to a glass flower garden. Greeting Touya is Francesca, or Seska for short, a female robot. Informing of the history of said ancient garden, Touya decides to bring along his party. The girls begin discussing a possible future where all of them can be married to Touya, as Yumina reassures them she would be happy to share Touya. Touya is then made aware he has been before he's able to accept. Seska pulls him in for a sloppy kiss. In complete shock, the girls become flustered as they each wanted to share his first kiss. Just then, Linz, out of pure jealousy, could not hold back anymore, pulling in Touya for a kiss. The day after, Yumina demands to spend time with Touya. Angry at Touya for losing his first kiss to another girl, they make up with a kiss. Having seen everything that had occurred, Els and Ye duel to demand a duel. Upon their loss, they vent their frustration and love for Touya. Taking a break, Touya returns to the garden where he has a chat with the previous owner of the garden, Professor Regina Babylon. Regina ultimately warns Touya of what may await him in the future before disappearing. Ending the anime, Touya ultimately accepts all the wives he'll have in the future, even meeting a possible enemy or foe by the name of Enda. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.